Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and a member show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Now, apologies for the late start this morning. I came, best of intentions, all of that. And yes, came to this chair here with the best of intentions in mind to deliver you a show, and a few hitches this morning. So sorry for the 10-minute delay, but here we are. How are you this morning? Do let me know in the chat. Thank you for your patience and forbearance in this matter. It was the an unwilling. I've got a little suspicion, and you know how when something goes wrong with the computer, those of us who aren't terribly technically minded, yes, blame the cat. Actually, the cat's nowhere to be seen unless she has gnawed through a cable somewhere else in the house and scuppered. Yes, it was the cat. It was the cat. That'll do. I was going to say, I think it's my AVG that I didn't renew, and it told me before I was doing things that I'm down to basic protection. And maybe AVG, if you don't renew, starts to do things to your computer to slow it down, so that you think, hold on a minute, I think I need AVG. Is that too cynical? Coach Turner was in at 7:51 this morning. Bom dia, os meus amigos e feliz carta. Another lovely day due here in the UK. So walking and coffee on the menu again. Talking of which, I'm due to cook a big tapas meal on Saturday, so need to plan. Have we got any tapas suggestions for the coach? What are your favorites in there? Is it batatas bravas? There's a classic in the tapas spectrum. What else have we got for the coach there? Bom Dia ALEGRIA from T-Duck as well, just as the show was meant to start. João Ernesto de Norte, Bom Dia Portugal. Gemini's here, lovely to see you. And well done, John. Last day of the A2 language class. I enjoyed it much more than A1. With A1, you often feel as though you aren't making any progress. But with A2, you realize you actually have and enjoy the process. That's wonderful. Well done, John. And Bon Dia Gumpers from Jackie as well. Late start. Yes, I know. I was there behind the scenes. I'm trying to make it start. But here we are. Here we are nonetheless. Let's take a breath. No, yeah, I was, excuse me, still got something hanging about as well. A lovely day in Lisbon yesterday, which prompted me to call the show We're Going to the Zoo. Another a technical hitch. Oh no, I have got it. That's fantastic. All right, I have got the footage. I better mute this up because some of the things me and my daughter said behind the screens, behind the scenes, as it were. No, actually not behind the scenes. Whilst we were recording this, are best kept behind the scenes. So what I'd love to do, in honor of a beautiful day I had with my daughter Minnie at the zoo yesterday in Lisbon, I'd like to just run this in the background. It's absolutely wonderful what we enjoyed. I was taking a hire car back. It was a strange set of circumstances that led to us going to the zoo. I was meant to be catching a flight to the UK yesterday, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't on a flight I was meant to be on. Have you ever done that? It's really quite bizarre to know that you're meant to be on a flight. You can't cancel a flight on Ryanair, as far as I'm aware. So I just had to let the flight go, imagining that, that just before the flight, they were saying, would Mr. Munson please go to the gate? I somehow think that they didn't do that for me on Ryanair. You probably have to pay extra to have your name broadcast for a flight you're not going to be on. So I think it obviously just left without me and nobody cared. But it's the first time I've had a flight that I wasn't on, which was quite the strange thing. Now, here it is on the screen here. My delight to share with you part of a beautiful day at the zoo. This is the EDP cable car. And of course, you have to say the EDP cable car because they're the sponsors of the thing. And do you know what? My 9-year-old daughter, seeing the Mayo Savannah area of the zoo, said, That kind of kills the magic, doesn't it? The Mayo Savannah, 9 years of age. Here's the EDP cable car. I'm not even with EDP. They're not going to give me a discount for saying EDP over and over again, as I mentioned their cable car. But fair play to them. This is an extraordinary setup in the zoo, at Lisbon Zoo. So yeah, I was taking a hire car back. I was going to take a flight. I didn't take the flight, so I thought, I know, I'll take my daughter with me, and we'll go to the zoo because it was very close to where the car needed to be taken back and where the coach departs from, coming back to San Martino de Porto. I can get a coach at the end of my street that takes me basically to within a 5-minute walk of this fabulous zoo. And it's just wonderful. It's like it takes an hour and a half to get to Lisbon and back. To Lisbon, either way. And I can, and we could just walk to the zoo in 5 minutes. So we'll be doing this again. It was absolutely fantastic. You'll see here, it's beginning to bounce a bit, and it's good that you can't hear the sound because we were screaming a little bit. I was a little bit scared, I have to say, but I couldn't show my 9-year-old daughter that. It didn't look very high as you were walking around the zoo, looking up at people in it. But when you're up in there, it was a very different matter. And you're in it for 20 minutes. I need to tell you as well, if you're thinking of doing it, it's a 20-minute ride. So don't do it if you've got a plane to catch and you're thinking, oh, we'll just do a quick 5-minute whiz around on the cable car at Lisbon Zoo. No, it takes a little bit longer than that. 20 minutes, I believe. It flies by, literally, in every sense. And what happens is it's like a ski lift. You have to jump onto it as it comes through into the landing, the takeoff and landing bay. And really, they are hung from the cable by the most flimsy attachment. And they are like shopping trolleys. You basically walk into a chest height shopping trolley hanging from a thick piece of cable that is going around the Lisbon Zoo showground in a triangle, basically. And it feels like it. It really does, as it bounces and wobbles, and you're there trying not to look down. But obviously you're looking down because you can see, and we haven't got enough time. We haven't got enough time this morning to show you the whole thing. But I will stick it up on. I'll have to dub it with music because I definitely can't share some of the things that me and my daughter were saying up at that altitude. But we're about to take the first bend here. This caused us to clench and scream a little bit as well. But you're flying over many of the animals in a sort of triangle around the park. And you get to see giraffes. It's like you're flying above the Serengeti, maybe, if that's where you see elephants and giraffes anymore. And many of the other creatures, including the massive collection of peacocks that they seem to have. I imagine they have peacock on the menu at the zoo cafe because there are a lot of peacocks in Lisbon Zoo. Sorry if it's not streaming terribly well. I think this might be something to do with the performance of my computer that made me late this morning. But we're cornering for the first time. We're cornering. Hold tight. There you go. And that's back. That now takes you up the hill, and there's a gap through the trees, and it climbs up through the zoo. And obviously people have their views about zoos. I think they're probably doing their best conservation-wise at Lisbon Zoo. It's a really good day out. I do commend it to you. Very easygoing and laid back, like so many Portuguese things, like Portuguese culture. And it's a fabulous zoo. It looks like it's been there since the, early 20th century. Some of the things looking a little bit weary, but that's not a criticism. I mean, like it happens, doesn't it, with any sort of infrastructure of a public attraction. But we absolutely loved it. Didn't get to see the red panda, but we got real up close and personal with the tigers. We saw koalas. We saw a monkey that I'm sure could have escaped the cage if he'd wanted to, if his mother wasn't persistently pulling him back through or away from the edge. He looked like he was only a few days old. He was a lovely little chap. Reminded me of my youngest son, actually, although I've not told him that yet. It was really, really a beautiful day out, as you can see there, and a wonderful day in Lisbon. A great day to be in Lisbon, I think, ahead of perhaps more rain heading our way. And a dust cloud. We've got a dust cloud coming, everybody. Just don't clean the car. Don't wash the car just yet. Morning to you, Hugh, as well. James also in. Look, if those of you who are engineers among us, that's how small the cable is. And if you look ahead there, you can see how tiny the fixing is. I don't know how they've got that attached there. If it's Portugal, it's going to be a few cable ties, isn't it? We live near the zoo, says T-Duck. but we weren't there yesterday. Goodness, I looked you up and we'd have hopefully gone together yesterday. The US people would be falling out of those aerial trolley carts on purpose just to sue the zoo, because everything is someone else's fault, of course. Now, and what do they charge? It wasn't cheap. I think you can probably get a family ticket. It's a great place to take kids, obviously. Take your kids, grandkids, or whatever. If just for the two of us, it was €50 yesterday. But I think the more we'd have taken, the better value we would have experienced. And there, you can go to the restaurants and so on and get a sense of the zoo just in the Jardin Zoological, without paying and going in. And there you go. You see, that's the cable car takes you out of the confines of the zoo, and then I'm going back in over the exit there. And we don't have time to watch the whole thing, but it really was amazing. You can get a sense of how high it is right there. Anyway, we're going to the zoo, or we did yesterday, and it was lovely, and I do commend it to you. Let's end that video there, and I'll make sure it goes up on our YouTube channel. And it's time to say good morning. Another video. Let's hope this video streams when I play it. Let's say good morning to Paul Rees of the Rees Report, everybody. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Sorry, I thought it was only going to be a black screen for a moment there. And before you say it, Paul, yes, I was able to get in and out of the monkey house without being detained or still there this morning. Were you going to say that?
It looked good, actually. It looked good fun. And €25 ahead.
Have you been?
No, I haven't. No, I will.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
It was really good, and there were lots of ducks too. There's some added value for you right there. How are you, Paul? How's life in central Portugal this morning?
It's well, the rain has stopped. The sun has come out. The flowers, the colours now are starting to burst forth. It's fantastic. Everyone's in such a good mood.
It is
after the
deluge
this year. But the locals, I must say, they're very un-British about the weather. They just say "faz falta." You know, we need the barragens full, and that's what happens. So it's good. It's all
there
good.
Comes a point though when the barragens are full. I mean, you can't keep saying that, can you?
I know.
You can't keep saying that.
I know. The one down the desert at Busa rather has been the overflow literally overflows. It's not tunnels under. It's not sort of special tunnels, and that's just been overflow. I mean, the amount of water that's just piled over, and it's all kind of wasted energy in one way.
Yes, true.
I know the energy the energy companies do add up the water level and how much energy that will produce. That's part of their assets. So just to see it piling over the top must bring a tear to the eye of the most hardened financial director.
Oh, bless.
Bless.
Yes.
Bless. But good, Portugal's as popular as ever. The amount of inquiries in the last 2 weeks has been phenomenal. It usually starts nearer to Easter. But it's been good. I've been selling stuff. We sold a farm without touching it to a Dutch couple who made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Wonderful.
And another young couple is putting in an offer on one of our other farmhouses for development, so we can work with them to make it beautiful again. No, it's good. It's good, and we're doing more properties on behalf of other owners. People coming to us saying, "Can you help?" Hence that video clip I sent you, which is it's way from here. It's up in the Douro Valley.
Turn the music off.
There we go. Yeah.
Do you want to get a glass of water? You seem to look like me this morning. You have a frog in your throat. Are you okay?
No, just getting over a bit of a cough.
Yes, same here. I can play the music, or we can just talk over it here. You can give us a bit of a commentary.
We can talk over it. I mean, this is a right Oop North. We joke about Oop North. A lot of people think Central is Oop North, but it depends.
They do, don't they? Yes. It's like we have our own M25.
Yes. I know. Yeah, that's extraordinary. And this was a family that contacted us that have decided to sell a variety of family-owned assets built up by their grandparents. So the signatures on the contract, I think there were 7 or 8 signatures from elderly aunts and people. But but absolutely, I think anywhere overlooking the Douro River is exceptional. And this land it's surrounded by neatly trimmed rows of vines, and it's just been left. You can see by the tree and shrub cover, it's just been left for ages, years and years. It was a working farm, then a sort of holiday home, and then they kind of, I wouldn't say given up. It's just life moves on.
It does.
The main daughter works in America, London, and here, so she can't look after it. The father's still working but busy in Porto, and there's just no one that's really using it. Yeah, you can see the extent of the land. It's all the unkempt land, which is a great project for someone. I mean, I would definitely do a tourism project there. But yeah, it's just an example of the kind of assets that people bring us. If someone says, "Can you sell my apartment overlooking the seaside in Albufeira?" No, absolutely not. But things that are of interest, historical interest, especially in registered historic zones, is of course we'll look at, and things that are just attractive that I can get my head around. It's good. It's good. It's really to do with the people. I like dealing with nice people.
I get that. I get that, and I get a sense of curation as well.
Yeah,
almost
absolutely.
A heritage interest here. You want to see it go into some good hands as well.
Yeah, and I think that because I don't. People with the wrong attitude, I don't think, want to buy anything from us anyway, because there's an immediate tension. I'm not a 30-year-old working for Remax. Actually, I don't give a whatever. And I like selling things. And on Sunday, I met the most delightful young couple that had driven up from Lisbon, who are going to buy a substantial farmhouse, and they've both got salaries from Brussels, actually. So they're relatively okay for money. They live here. They want a weekend home. A complete delight to deal with, and absolutely perfect for the house. And we all knew it. We just stood there saying, "There's nothing I can do to sell you something that it's probably 350 grand by the time they're finished. I can't sell that. They need to want it. I can facilitate it and put them at ease, but." It's interesting. I never used to read The Art of Selling books and all that nonsense, about handing people a pen and all that. It's just such nonsense.
It sounds like you might be writing one, Paul, rather than reading.
If you've got good stuff, I think if you've got good, well-presented stuff at the right price, it should make the sales side really a administrative function. People need to want, and you need to present something in the best way possible, especially for a third-party client. And not hide stuff, not have clever pictures that don't show the pig farm next door, or the pylon behind the bathroom. It's such. You still see it. I see postings online where I know the site, and I'm thinking, I'm sure there's a pylon just around. I drive past and think, God, that is so mean. People will waste time and money driving a significant distance to see a property that is totally unsuitable.
Oh, Paul, you must write the book, the sales book, because that's you're describing there. It's like the mindful or the right way to sell things, and I think you there's something you do maybe unconsciously about the click. I was having this conversation with somebody at the weekend about, there may be a house that seems overpriced for its locality, but when the right person comes, the click happens, and you can't really go searching for that person. I think what you say is true. You present it in the best possible way, and some sort of magic might happen, mightn't it? People think, okay, well, Paul might be a good person to present this for us. Certain kinds of people seem to be attracted to him. He'll mention it. They'd never have found it on their own. They would that seller and that buyer would never have come together if not for a little bit of Rees magic in the middle, however modest you might be about that. And hey presto, there's a click, and it's like, well, yeah, that's a price they're willing to pay for the experience they're going to have in that location.
Yeah, I mean, the pricing is always an issue. Incidentally, on the third-party properties, it's not just me anymore. I couldn't possibly cope with that, plus running the rest of the business.
Yes.
So we have some excellent. We have an Adam, an excellent local experienced curator of such properties.
Well, it sounds like neither you or he are Remax 30-year-olds. So did you mean to tell me you don't turn up in a brand new electric car with a Gucci handbag and some heels on?
No,
I see more and more of that.
I'm keeping my 23-year-old Rover on the road quite happily.
Good for you.
It's got a good German engine, luckily. All the British bits are broken and been replaced.
Superb.
Yes, it's interesting what you're referring to pricing. You know, if somebody really wants something, they'll pay for it. The pricing, the market gets obsessed with pricing, with price per square meter, with this, that, and the other. And estate agents have algorithms that create that say, oh, this property is worth 182,950. No, it's not. That's a complete guesstimate. It's worth what someone's going to pay for it. If you can present it to the right person and they want it, they will pay a fair price. Yeah, and that's right. There's negotiation on price usually. It's always worrying if somebody just agrees. you think I could have got another 1,000.
Yes. Oh, right. Okay.
So you've got to think of it from the buyer's point of view. If you just sold a 2-bedroom apartment in Kensington and you're moving here and looking for a farmhouse, and you're sniffing around the 350, 400 mark, you've probably still got 2 million in the bank from your property fund, plus your pension, plus everything else. It's another 10 grand here or there is not going to make a blind bit of difference.
Well, exactly. It's pointless. It's pointless worrying over that part of the deal. And maybe it's very interesting what you're saying there about the one might call it a science, but all that sort of jiggery poker. I'm pausing it there because I wanted to talk to you about the location of this particular place. Yeah. But in the way that I think it was Pascal that said medicine, when it comes to healing and doctors, the doctor entertains the patient while nature takes its course. It's like, you have to do a little bit of a razzle dazzle, don't you, to help people think they're involved in a process. And maybe all of that stuff of figuring out price per square meter and algorithms, as you say, are just part of that process. And people know, don't they? People know if they want a place or not. And, you do come to a point where you find out what it's worth to each of you.
Yeah, I think all those algorithms are just something for estate agents
show
Remax to do in the afternoon.
Yes. When I was talking about brand new electric cars and Gucci bags, I do see more of these characters turning up at viewings. It's like an Instagram thing, isn't it? Being a real estate agent is something that people want to film and be filmed as a kind of it's a thing. But there you are.
Isn't it such nonsense? I watch them on whatever channel it is, about this sort of LA real estate. Now, it is a drug. I'm not an addict, but that is a drug, definitely.
Right. So we're not likely to see you in any such production.
People, I mean, what are they thinking?
Yes.
It's extraordinary. The only good one, do you see the guy in London who's doing top-end property? I mean, he had a gaggle of people working for him who were pretty appalling, but he actually seemed genuinely interested in money primarily, because they all are, but in his customers. And it's the only one that rung even a tiny bit true. The rest of it, it's because they couldn't be Premier League footballers. And then they want to be estate agents, always looking for the big deal, And it's just.
Oh, I would watch if Netflix do a series of you doing, like Gogglebox. If we can have you watching those programs with your commentary, I'd watch that.
Oh, well, that would be quite funny. We're actually going to start sensibly using YouTube shortly as well, so there's room for a bit of humour in that as well, rather than me just trudging around old buildings.
Right. This, I'm reminded here, this is the location of that iconic, and that's a word that gets used a lot, but I think it's fair to say those Douro Valley locations with the ribbed terracing that you've seen in photographs. That's a lovely opportunity. That is an iconic thing here in Portugal. However, the property is just over that magical hour from the airport, is it not? That you've poo-pooed in the past.
No, the nonsense hour, the golden hour. Yeah.
The golden hour for the 3 visits you make to the airport a year. I don't know if that's changed in the public consciousness because of your good work around that, but that is the location, and it truly is up north, isn't it? Here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's due east of Porto, so it's that's where it is. I had a lovely couple on Friday who are great listeners to your show. They phoned.
Oh, really?
They live up in Ponte de Lima.
Top left. Yeah.
And said, "We're in your area tomorrow. Can we buy you coffee?" And I said, "Well, I'm always open to bribery. I don't know what you want." And
what do you want? What do you want?
I spent a delightful hour in the Lagar Cafe and Restaurant in Serta chatting to them. I mean, what a delightful couple. But again, moved. They can't remember the reason why they moved to the wettest part of Portugal. Want to move further down. So I need to study go on a course in meteorology, I think.
Well said.
Analysis of rainfall patterns was pretty forensic. But I mean, through shows like yours, people get to work out, I suppose, what rural properties is and what its feel is. And it's not, I mean, the day I had to get an estate agency license was a dark day for the business.
Oh, bless you. Okay.
But I had to get that to be able legally to sell other people's houses. So
I see. Okay.
It was a dark day. But I mean, just talking to, well, in their case, viewers of your show, just genuinely nice American couple, not rich, not poor. They just want to probably move, make the right choices. Should they rent or buy? Just looking around. I mean, an absolute delight to deal with. I don't have to sell them anything. If there's something I've got that they want, they'll ask because they know exactly what I have. They've got to make their mind up about what they want and where they want to be. I can give them tons of information on that. Yeah. But I'm not going to drag them off to. I think you should have this apartment. Look at the view. You know, it's life's not like that. People
Sit down. Like I do a timeshare scenario where they're not leaving there until you've had your way with them commercially. Yeah. Wow. Okay, we've got only a few minutes left. Always great fun hanging out with you and chatting, but not just about the specifics.
Shut up now.
No, not at all. Because we were going to talk briefly about the grants that are available for renovation, I think, which always attracts people. And I think people do get the wrong end of the stick. And maybe if we've got time, the golden visa that came up. I haven't had a chance to look at the Daily Mail's guide to the golden visa. What was that like?
Oh, it was a Daily Mail's guide to the guy they interviewed, really. Who's an estate agent.
Oh, no, right, okay.
Actually, it was quite good stuff. I mean, it's pretty, for you and I, it's fairly basic stuff. For new readers, it's interesting. It's a long advert. It's a long advert for Portugal, really. Yeah, on the grants available for some of our larger properties, like the Convento in Momenta de Beira in Viseu. It's a huge building on a vast plot of land with another building plot next to it. I'm dealing with UK entities that build stuff. They build hotels and they kit out. They do buy to let and all sorts of stuff. Exploring with them the grants is interesting, and there's some agencies in this country that specialize in grants. It's basically Portugal funnels EU money into tourism projects, and if it's low density areas, which the inland is, then you can get up to 60% of the capital paid for. So if you've got €1 million property and €1 million refurbishment, Brussels will give you 1.2 million. I mean, it's free, absolutely free money. It's extraordinary. Okay. And by qualifying, you get cheaper bank loans as well. So it's just that there are schemes for these larger properties. If somebody wants to start a hotel, anything to do with tourism, basically, will get you through so many hurdles very quickly.
And obviously you have to follow through with that's how the EU grants seem to work, isn't it? Is that there is quite an auditing process and they want to see that their money is spent wisely. But that's quite the offer there, Paul.
It's quite what?
It's quite the offer.
Yeah, no, it's extraordinary. All I hear is jaws dropping onto boardroom desks in London. So when do we have to pay it back? Well, you don't. It's your money anyway. Oh, well, it's not UK money, but it's EU money anyway. So
That used to be your money.
It used to be. Sorry, it's a big slip. Yeah, I don't know how Golden Visa came up, but it's still a nonsense. It was highly political to begin with. It ran for just over 10 years.
Yes.
And there were 12,000 applicants. That's 1,200 people a year. I mean, so what? But
Exactly.
it shifted a lot of high-end property. It pushed the price up a lot of high-end property because it was Chinese people overpaying, basically, because the vast majority were Chinese. So it shifted about 7 billion euros worth of property over that period. But it was stopped because of housing for the poor. I mean, it has absolutely nothing to do with how to house the poor. I mean, it's just extraordinary. But unless
the taxes levied could be reappropriated, that would have been a useful move, wouldn't it? But I'm not sure that happened.
They could have done that, but it's still a drop in the ocean compared to, if you've got to build 500,000 houses for the lower end of the market, which is probably just about catching up with what should be, then it's nothing. It's a fraction. It's a mosquito. It's tiny, but it lives on. I mean, politically, it did so much international. It got so much international cover when Portugal cancels. So they let it drag on into various half harebrained projects. All of which don't involve property.
Exactly. There's an investment version, isn't there? And there's also a donation version, which I heard
you can hand money over. That's actually one of the cheaper ones. It's mostly 500 grand if you're investing in one of the schemes. One of which is football, by the way. You can invest in football.
Is that right?
I don't know how that one got in. And the blue economy, and there's various funds you can put your money into.
The blue economy, what's that? What marine investment?
Yeah, marine. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. It meant something. It meant something back in the day. Quite different, but okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. Rural-properties.com to find out more, to look at the impressive list of properties, I think increasingly impressive, but increasing in volume and inventory over there. I'm glad to hear that what used to be a season, I was going to say this, I've heard this from other people in the business, as it were, of moving to Portugal. There was a season, things would start getting sort of heating up. But there's like with tourism, there's a shoulder to it now that's broadening, and it may be an all-year thing at some point. Where it was once a season, it may be an all-year thing. The way things are going, so always great to catch up with you, Paul. Find out more, rural-properties.com. You'll find him if you search Paul Rees and Rural Properties on the web. You will find Paul, and we'll see you again next month for another Rees report. Paul,
good stuff. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Bye for now.
Bye.
Wonderful. Excellent. Always a joy to speak to Paul. Let's keep that applause going. She's looking very cool. She has a movie star air about her this morning. Let's go. Let's be round of applause. Yeah, baby.
I am coming to you not only in pajamas, but in sunglasses too. Yeah.
Have you got a bowl of cereal nearby?
But look at my brand new sunglasses, though. Aren't they cute? They are really cute. So I have pink eye, viral conjunctivitis in both my eyes, and I couldn't even see or work last week pretty much, but I'm doing a lot better. But yeah, we're still.
I'm sorry to hear that. Is this ahead of 420? What is pink eye? What is that? Isn't that something that teenagers get?
I told clients last night I was talking to, I look stoned. I can show you, like, they're really pink. So yeah, viral conjunctivitis, good old pink eye. But I never knew you could get it this bad. Like, did you know, this is good for people to know, the white of your eye, the sclera of your eye, can actually swell and look lumpy? Yes, I had that going on with my left eye. It's honestly really scary because I never knew that. And so if you ever have that happening, don't completely freak out. The eye doctor didn't. But I kind of did. I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? It was like
Porridge in my eye.
misshaping my eye and my pupil. It was really weird. But
Yes.
it looks a lot better. So through this weekend, I will no longer be contagious soon. So that's my
There you are, locked into the house in your pajamas and sunglasses.
Well, you know me, I'm always in pajamas, but I figured, well, since I have the sunglasses on anyways, and technically I'm sick, I can totally get away with it. So.
You can. And it's good of you to be here. And I feel it feels good to be at a safe distance, quite frankly.
I know.
From what you were saying about this. When I was sending messages to you yesterday, it suddenly occurred to me, the reason why you might not be replying is because you couldn't see anything. And that's what I did send you that message. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe you're not reading text at the moment.
I did see you say that. It's a lot better. Like I said, a lot better. Like I still look bad, but it looks like a million times better than it did. You know,
sending you love and healing vibes. Ashma Liorish amiga on that. I remember when I was a kid, I woke up one morning. Sounds like a blues song always, doesn't it, when I say that? But my eyes were stuck together, and it was hay fever. I later discovered, but that's also a very disturbing feeling, isn't it? To be able to,
it is,
to not be able to open your eyes first thing in the morning.
I remember that happened to me when I was a kid.
Yes.
And I was having an allergic reaction. And I was at camp, and I was on the upper bunk.
Oh dear!
And I was scared to death. And yeah, it was really. And all the girls in my little cabin didn't believe me because I was like, I can't open my eyes. And they thought I was lying, you know. And anyways, it was bad. But this is having that effect as well with both eyes. One eye was shut, and then both eyes. But now I'm back to just one eye being partially shut when I wake up in the morning. So,
and presumably it's dealt with by drops. You sound like you've become quite the ophthalmologist yourself with some of the technical terms.
Here's a good thing for people to know. So it's interesting. You go to the pharmacy here, and it's not like in the US. You go and you say, you know, look at my eyes. I look like I have pink eye of some sort. And they look at it, and the other pharmacist looks at it. And then they give you actual like antibiotic drops without a prescription, which is really cool.
Yes.
But because this is viral and not bacterial, they didn't actually work. But most of the time that would work, which is nice. So I did end up going to the ophthalmologist, and I've been back a second time now for a recheck, and I should be good as long as I clear up the next few days. So
you take it easy.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here this morning. Raj's Indian family in Portugal, bon dia to you and to Pam. And a special shout out to Sanjay this morning. Sanjay Razdan became a YouTube member. Much appreciated. Send me your details to carl@carlmunson.com, Sanjay, and we'll get you into the Portugal Club as well as a YouTube member over there. Fantastic. Mr. S, I think, is at London Heathrow. Wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Gosh, no kidding.
On the way on the way back to Boston. I was meant to fly to Stansted yesterday, and for all sorts of reasons that I won't go into here, I didn't make it. It was the first time ever I knew I was going to be on a flight and didn't turn up. Heather, imagining that they would be broadcasting around the
Where's Carl? Where's Carl? Right?
I don't think they bother with Ryanair, do they?
You can borrow my sunglasses because you'll be that cool, you know.
And just run up. Oh, I could go today, couldn't I? Say, is the plane still here? Ryanair, I don't think hold the plane for you at 56 euros.
Yeah, no.
that bird has flown.
That bird has flown. I like that.
We had the Rees report. The Rees report is obviously where Paul Rees joins us and talks about what's going on in his world. And I was thinking, what feature can I have for Heather Binder? What rhymes with Heather? The Nether in Minecraft.
Well, I used to be Heather Binder's House Finders.
That's great.
I know.
That's good, isn't it?
I have a really cute little logo and card, and it was Heather Binder's
House Finders.
Yeah, back in the day.
Well, what I've got for you this morning is Binder's Reminders.
Reminders.
How about that? Some of the wonderful things you can enjoy here in Portugal, and as if by magic, you've brought for us this morning. What do you call them? The thrift or the fairs?
Not thrift.
What is it?
I wanted to share because I think one of the things a lot of people say is like, don't bring anything when you come to Portugal.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's 100% necessarily true, but it's also important, I think, to educate yourself to know the kind of things you can buy here,
Yes.
aside from like IKEA stuff,
Yeah.
And so one way to do that is through the antique fairs and the boot sales, which is like garage sale. We've gotten, I sent you some pictures. My husband got everything from knee-high, brand new, like Doc Martens for like $40, which they're like, I don't know, 250 euro boots or something like that. Cool. To, the furniture, all kinds of stuff, and antique, beautiful antique stuff that I have modern furniture, but I also use antiques and eclectic and mix it together. So that was some samples of stuff I had, because you can get some amazing deals for one, and then just some really unique pieces that really the Portuguese are sick of and don't have a lot of don't see a lot of value in anymore. So this is my coffee table trunk.
That varies, doesn't it? Now, sorry, yes.
It does.
When I said thrift, what I meant was like secondhand shops.
Secondhand,
there are some, aren't there? There are some here.
There are some, and some of the stuff is from that. This was like 75 euros, and this was from
That's awesome.
off OLX. OLX is like a Craigslist. Those I love.
Hold on a minute. This is a thing of beauty, Heather. That's really nice. 75 euros.
75 euro. It's a beautiful brass clasp and just nice storage, and use it as a table there. So it's great. Yeah.
And that you made an interesting comment about how Portuguese people value or don't value things. You can be going to a street sale, like on a Sunday, the sort of thing they have at Alcobaça or many places around the country, and you'll see a VHS recorder from about 1981, and the guy wants 50 euros for it. You're thinking, well, hold on a minute, why is that?
Well, that's the other thing, is sometimes the prices are completely insane.
Yes, exactly.
Completely insane.
Yes.
Yeah. We've had the silver bowl. We were looking at it as a dog dish, and they wanted 750 euro.
Yes. So you have to be careful. Don't be put off by that. Like, don't imagine that because a cassette player from 1979 is 50 euros, that everything else is going to be crazily priced. Because as you can see, there's 75 euros for that. I think that's a real steal.
That's a good deal. It's a beautiful piece.
A good deal. So leather top chairs here.
Yeah, my beautiful dining chairs. So I found those, and I ended up getting the modern table to go with it, which is a really nice offset, because it's just kind of a not there table, because the focus is the chairs. Yeah. And I got those for 200 euro for 4 chairs, really good condition, super heavy duty, beautiful antique. I love them. Yeah.
How much work do you have to do to find things like this? Are you on OLX?
Nothing. I mean, I just know these I got at the OEST, the antique market that comes every 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah. So those I just walked up and saw those, and I was like, those are awesome. And they were just really heavy duty and, comfortable. And then that like little table, that was like 18 euro at their junk shop around the corner here. Yeah. And then the little piece of marble, I think, was like $5. And, just made a nice little side table. There's a lot of good.
About you in this. I didn't know about your interior design skills.
Yes. Yeah. This piece was interesting. I did sell a house here at the point in time I was doing real estate here for a half a second. And this house, this was in that house. Now, it's a really common piece, the base piece, but the mirror behind it, I've never seen one with the mirror. And so that was really nice. And so I just negotiated direct with the seller for that. And it was 150 euro, but it's in mint condition. Might be a little pricey, but it's it was a perfect piece for that spot. So it was really nice. At the top of my stairs
how would you describe that? Because I think that is quite Portuguese. It's not grandma dark wood, is it? And it's not
the super dark. It's definitely traditional, but I have it in the same room as my dining table and set you just saw. So again, I have like a glass, like an old chandelier that was in the house with it, but then the modern table, but then the antique chairs, and then this piece. So it's eclectic. I like that. Makes it fun.
Great. Yes. Yeah. And you're showing these off, aren't you? I mean, they have become pieces, that are things in their own right.
They're great storage. And I think it just complements. But it's just nice because honestly, there's just so much IKEA-esque furniture here. It's hard to get anything else,
It is. And you could be anywhere in the world, couldn't you? Like, it's the Airbnb vibe, isn't it?
It's the Airbnb vibe. And I have some pieces like that. I'm not dissing IKEA at all. And you'll see I have a range of things. But when you mix it with some neat pieces like these, I think it just brings a whole nother element. And
Agreed.
Is less expensive. This is less expensive than you pay for stuff in IKEA. A lot of things.
It's true, isn't it? And you get something unique and different. And that's somewhere to store the fish knives, of course.
The fish knife? No, that's in the kitchen.
Okay, sorry.
Fish knives. See that little table? That little table was €3. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
That little wood stand. Yeah. €3.
That's a plant stand, not a stool for a very tall.
Yeah, it's a plant stand, but I use it as a vase stand or whatever. But
that vase, as you Americans say, it looks like something from an apothecary. Is it like a pharmacy?
No, it was from Espazo Casa in Caldish, which is kind of like a World Market, Pier 1 sort of store. And it was real inexpensive, but it's hand blown glass. It's really pretty. And it's just at the top of the stairs there. And I just thought that table, it's really common. Like if you go to those things, you see it everywhere. But I was like, it was shocked that thing was $3 and you can't see it well. It's got a lot of cool detail to it, actually. You have to show the bed. There we go. Okay,
now, look, I have seen this style of bed when I stayed in Obidos. I did a little bit of a video there. And one of the spindles came off in my hand, which I mean, that's how these work, isn't it?
That is how they work.
Yes.
So this is what's cool about this style. I forget what it's called, but it's from the late 1600s. Okay, really? Literally, yeah. Like if you talk to the people at the antique fairs, like there's some people that do like really fancy furniture, and they were telling me all about it.
It's like being a king or a queen in this thing, isn't it?
That's like a queen. Like it's like the 200 centimeter, whatever. It's a queen. And this is my guest bed. And it's beautiful. It was €150 for that bed frame.
Now,
and it's from the late 1600s.
It's not actually from that period, though, is it?
No, it is.
You're kidding me.
No, it is. That's my point, is you can get these amazing antiques for next to nothing. Now, it wasn't all put together, but all the parts were there. I had to replace, I think, a cross piece of wood on the bottom. And that was it, and of course it needed oiling, which it probably needs again, but I just love this style. I think it's gorgeous. And I sent you a couple other pictures, a couple other tables, at least one other table I have, that's that same turned wood. It's really dark wood. Absolutely beautiful. I think.
Well, I agree. That's extraordinary. And it's as if our entry into Portuguese culture kind of overlays the Portuguese themselves. And you can imagine, can't you, like, I don't know, a youngish Portuguese person thinking, I don't want to sleep in the bed that I slept in at my grandma's house.
Exactly. So having seen a lot of property here, I love this table. Having seen a lot of property here, there's tons of property filled with this amazing furniture like this.
True. It's true.
And it sucks because a lot of them is like getting termites and stuff like that. And just, some of it's just going downhill. And it's really sad. But, these are gorgeous pieces. Now, that table was €130 the first time I saw it at the Oeste fair. And I didn't buy it because I wasn't sure it fit where I wanted it to go. And I wasn't sure about the price. And then I came back again, like 3 months later when they came back around. And he still had the table. And so I got it, I think, for €80.
Cool.
And,
now, look, JMC's here. Come on. I was made in one of those. You probably wouldn't want that in his bedroom anymore. Heather, what is that on the floor there?
Oh, sorry. So my longtime ex is a ceramic artist, and she's a master's in ceramics, and these are some of her sculptures that were in her master's show, actually.
Extraordinary pieces there. What can you say more about that piece on the floor there?
The one up on the table is actually probably more interesting. Well, they're different, but the one on the table is actually called a pod bottle, and it's actually a vessel, meaning that the lid comes off. It's siliconed on just for safety, but it's actually a vessel. And as in like it could hold something.
Yeah.
And it's inspired from a seed pod, which is interesting.
Yes.
And then the little pot right there is one of hers as well. And this is another one. And it's this has kind of got a lot of everything comes from nature and seed pods and a lot of. She loves to look at like tide pools and stuff in the ocean, and you can see that's kind of octopusy and you know, kind of has that look to it. So my husband hates all her stuff. He likes her. They're friends, but it's kind of funny. Now this piece is neat. This is from actually a store called Senor Jacinto in Caldish, and I don't know if you've ever been there. It's on the walking street, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a chunk of wood, right, made into a table. And I just fell in love with it. Now, that was not such a great bargain, but it is because I'll have it the rest of my life and I fell in love with it. So
that's
there you go.
Very distinctive piece, that, isn't it? Excellent. What's the walking street? The one is that Willie Street?
Do you know where Valencia is? The coffee shop right at the corner of the walking street, where like the you know where the walking street where the bench is, the bronze bench with Bordalo Pinheiro.
Oh yes, I do know where you
right
mean.
there.
Okay,
it's right there, right by Oculista, which is where I got my awesome sunglasses at Oculista, which is a great optometrist. There you go.
You mentioned the DMs. These are not from the 1700s, though, are they?
No, but those are Doc Martens. Those are calf high Doc Martens that fit my husband, which was kind of an amazing find for $40 because they're literally like barely ever worn. So they're really nice.
Hey, they're impressive, aren't they? Made in the United Kingdom, I suspect. I should have
gotten a picture of them in them, but hey, it was last minute.
Yeah, well, that can be another binder's reminder.
Actually, I like hanging with Heather, but that's what I do with Boots on the Ground Portugal. I do a hanging with Heather Zoom call. I just started up doing again. So,
good for you.
Binders reminders works too.
Now, yes, reminders of the wonderful things that you can experience here in Portugal for us on Good Morning Portugal. Yes, from Boots on the Ground, what's going on? Similarly to Paul, I'm guessing a lot more interest at the moment. The spring is here.
Yeah. So Boots on the Ground Portugal, we help people relocate everything from, I think, when I moved to Portugal all the way through to all the driver's license exchange, the whole 9 yards. So what's going on? They seem to be catching up. They're trying to catch up. They're canceling some AMA appointments, supposedly to catch up, which I don't quite understand the logic of that. But I think the people they're canceling are people that just got their visas and already had AMA appointments. So I'm hoping that means that they're now taking older people that have been here longer, not literally older, but people that have been here longer.
They actually are, aren't they?
Well, they are older because they've been waiting around. I'm hoping that they're actually fitting those people in. But it is interesting because we have AMA appointments through April, and then we have this gap and no AMA appointments till August. And I'm not sure if that's catching up from when they didn't have VFS appointments open. So they're kind of lagging things out. But they seem to be being more aggressive with trying to actually get caught up and not taking afternoon appointments to work on the backlog. So
interesting. Okay. So some movement there. Okay.
Some movement. And we're definitely busy. We have lots of people talking about relocating and looking at a lot of families. I just was on a call last night with 2 daughters and parents, and the daughters have children, and they're all looking to move as a family unit, which, you know, I moved here with my elderly parents and the parrot and the pugs and the husband and all that. So that's kind of fun to help people relocate, you know, as a whole like that is nice.
Well, there's another name for a feature: parents, pugs, and parrots.
Parrots, pugs, and Portugal.
Portugal,
parrots, and pugs. I like it.
Well, I started 10 minutes late. That doesn't mean we have to stay here for another 10 minutes to make up for that. However, we are a little bit over time, and thank you for your patience, Heather. Here, there are a couple of comments that so I think you may have answers to. And comments as well. Here in Portugal, the pharmacias can essentially issue their own prescription on site for basic medical needs. They are licensed medical professionals in their own right. And I think they are endeavoring to increase their capability as well. Not that the doctors are happy about that, I think.
Well, and I think it's great. So I was going up to Porto for a weekend, and on the way out of town, I felt like, I'm getting a urinary tract infection. I know, TMI. But anyways, this is
Thanks.
important because I stopped at the pharmacy and they gave me the stuff. They sold, they don't give you, but they sold me a couple of products and I didn't have to go to the doctor and it didn't ruin my weekend. And I was able to catch it in the bud and get taken care of. So that was really cool. So yeah, it's really awesome. Somebody loved my glasses. Thank you.
Okay.
See, I caught that.
People there. That's a nice new greeting I've not seen before. It's the opposite. Most of the other countries overpriced them. What was that then, Algarve Laura? Good to see you this morning. Was that in relation to my VHS comments earlier on? Often the Portuguese view pre-owned as a reason to charge historically significant antique prices. It can happen.
We have seen that.
Yeah, as we've discovered this morning, don't let that put you off. It's not always the case. T-Ducks never found anything worth buying on OLX. The one time I tried to get, the guy never showed up. Sorry to hear about that.
I've had good luck on OLX.
It looks like it. We've seen the evidence. You have a great eye for interior design. Good job.
No pun intended, right?
You used to.
Thank you.
It's coming back day by day.
It is.
Right, Bom trabalho on that. I have better luck at street and flea markets. Flea markets, that's the other term as well.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. It's really the flea markets, the antique fairs. Some of them are the boot sales. Some of them are like the more official antique markets. But same difference. People selling stuff. Yeah, well, that's not new, basically. That's
true. It's old as time, isn't it? I almost always find something at the Sunday market in Avenida de Liberdade. What a lovely thing to do on a Sunday as well. And have you ever tried the Feira de Ladra? That's at the Thieves Market. Reminds me of the furniture store near our first house in Pereira. Lots of marble-topped and matching bedroom sets. There are a lot of those in Portugal. But you've got to imagine it as a featured item in your own home, haven't you, rather than a sea of mahogany. We've been to the Thieves Market many times, rarely buy anything, though. Some of the furniture in Portugal is uniquely uncomfortable. Horsehair shirts, the Catholic monks.
Well, notice I didn't show you my antique couch, I have like comfortable seating.
And yes, for some of the Americans and Europeans, the Portuguese standard bed length can be a bit of a challenge as well, can't it? So that might be a reason to go to IKEA. A cool experience though, people watching, an insight into Portuguese life. Absolutely. That bed, it just needs some chains and handcuffs. You don't have to answer this, Heather. let's just move on. She did say it was the guest bedroom.
Did you see how he just shut me up on that? Like he didn't give me a chance to respond. Not even a chance. I didn't even instigate that one. Come on.
Okay, fair enough. I can usually find. You said it was the guest room. Okay.
It is the guest room because I would break that bed if it were in my room. It's far too antique for that.
I can let the guest do it instead. I can usually find a few antique postcards from my collection. They're all very good. My parents' bed is the same. Still have it and all the rest that goes with it. What do you mean? Just tuning in. We're with you, Heather. Our entire home. What's going through your mind, Heather? Do you want to share all that goes with it? No.
Well, you know me.
I do. That's why I'm not going to ask you again. Our entire home is furnished in this manner.
Nice. Bob and Viv.
We really enjoy it. Betel Associação and Rema Loja in Porto and Braga. Very good. Heather, what was the name of that shop on the high street?
So it's Senor Jacinto. So Senor Jacinto, if you want to say it the American way. So Senor Jacinto.
And I'll say it in English.
Senor
Jacinto in English. I think we've covered that. Yes, when you said Portuguese do not apply a fair price on furniture they used to own. Okay, fair enough.
It's weird stuff. I mean, like my husband wanted to buy this walking stick.
Yeah.
And they wanted €250.
Yeah,
for a walking stick. It's a stick.
Well, sometimes they do hear a foreign accent, and that's that. I'm not saying that's a uniquely Portuguese thing. Traders around the world might take advantage.
I don't think that's 100% true, and we've tested that before. I was at the antique market, and we ran into Sarah, my gal that works with me is Portuguese, and we saw this really cool table, and we were like, they want like $1 million for this thing. And she was like, I'm going to go ask. And so she goes and asks in Portuguese.
$1 million.
It was the same price. It was the same price. Well, it was something fancy,
Yeah. Or they saw you speaking to each other outside the shop. Still $1 million.
Well, that's why they're supposed to mark prices so they can't give you different prices, but which I don't know. I feel like they do a lot of the time.
Again, I don't think there's any rule on it. You know, it's human nature in it. Some people will do it, and some people just really won't do that. And I think we tend to find more fairness than less here in Portugal. I would say
we find great deals. I got a beautiful pendant for my anniversary. That was I think it was $10. Like there's amazing jewelry that, depending on the stuff you like, and there's just a lot of cool stuff. And ultimately, it's fun. And I love when the Mart in the Park is, which is in the park in Caldish, because you can walk around our beautiful park and shop when the weather's nice. It's really nice.
Very good. I bought an awesome fat bike on OLX. I don't know what that is. Is that the one with the big tires for driving on the sand?
Yeah.
It's not made. I
sold one on there. Yeah.
Did you? Unless it's made entirely of lard. But that wouldn't be very practical. In the pharmacies, they can advise and sell non-prescription medicines, drugs. Every pharmacy must have a technical director with a degree in pharmacy, so they know what to sell you. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? But they don't issue prescriptions. Thank you, Antonio F, on that, and for everything you do for us. They are going to stall everything until the elections time, says JMC, as usual, and either solve everything to win or stay and lose. Really? Who pays better and guarantees future wins? Same story. Same old, isn't it? Thank you, JMC, for your political commentary this morning. Oh, also got a great deal on a very used Brompton. That's a British folding bicycle.
I was going to say, what's a Brompton? Okay, folding bicycle.
It's a British bicycle, my dear.
Nice.
Senor Jacinto, there you go.
There you go. Thank you.
Across the street from Cafe
Venezia,
yes. The Bordalo bronze. Yes. There's somebody who knows Caldish.
Exactly.
I was in that fantastic Antero. Is it Casa Antero? That wonderful restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that wonderful? Shout out to them.
I haven't been to that. I have to check it out. Okay.
Well, sadly, you weren't there, were you, for the focus group? That's where the fella took us for lunch, Heather. Next time.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's.
All right.
I know. Life's
complicated. Going to check it out. We have made up for lost time. We were 10 minutes late, and we're 11 minutes over. So there you go. Thanks to the wonderful. Parents and parrots in Portugal. Heather Binders,
and I didn't even say anything dirty. Your people did, so you can't blame me.
Your people, your people said something dirty. Okay, we live by the bull ring. Nice one, T-Dad. Oh, a fat bike apparently has really fat. Yeah, as I thought, about
fat tires. That's what I was thinking.
Wow, really great for riding on dirt. Really stable. It's slow, but who cares? You're living in Portugal now. Take it easy.
Right. Take it easy. Take a chill.
Heather, get well soon.
Thank you. And feel free to go on my website and schedule a chat with me if you're thinking about moving to Portugal.
Absolutely.
They're free.
That will be bootsonthegroundpt.com for the website there. So thanks, Heather. Yeah, get well soon. And go have fun in those DM boots and on the 18th century sex dungeon bed. Take care and bye for now.
You said it. Let's just remember that.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts